Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Takif. Today we are starting our new chapter, Chapter 10, Beginning of Modern Nationalism in India. For no serious UPSC aspirants, this chapter provides the analytical framework to understand how a disparate subcontinent was welded into a singular political consciousness. We will dissect the causative factors of nationalism and the pre-Congress political landscape in exhaustive detail. Part 1. The multifaceted growth of modern nationalism. The rise of Indian nationalism was not an isolated phenomenon, but a product of a complex mix of global and domestic catalysts. It grew partly as a stimulus generated by the British Raj through new institutions and resources, and partly as a reaction to colonial policies. 1. Contradictions in Indian and colonial interests. By the late 19th century, Indians increasingly realized that British colonial rule was the primary cause of India's economic backwardness. A fundamental realization emerged: the interests of
the Indian people, including peasants, artisans, handicraftsmen, workers, intellectuals, and the emerging capitalist class, were inherently in conflict with the survival of British rule. The nationalist movement arose to take up the challenge of these inherent contradictions. 2. Political, administrative, and economic unification. The British sword imposed a level of political unity that surpassed even the Mauryas or the Mughals. While the provinces were under direct rule and princely states under indirect rule, a professional civil service, a unified judiciary, and codified civil and criminal laws created a singular political dimension. Infrastructure as a double-edged sword. The development of railways, roads, electricity, and the telegraph was driven by administrative convenience, military defense, and commercial exploitation. Nationalist impact. This linked the economic fates of different regions, as a crop failure in one region affected prices in another, and allowed leaders from across the country to congregate, exchange political ideas, and mobilize public opinion. 3. Western thought and education. The introduction of modern education afforded opportunities for the assimilation of Western liberal and radical thoughts. Intellectual pillars, figures like Milton, Shelley, John Stuart Mill, Rousseau, Paine, Spencer, and Voltaire helped Indians imbibe rational, secular, and democratic ideas. Linguistic tool, the English language served as a common medium, enabling nationalist leaders from different linguistic regions to communicate. The nucleus of unrest, the educated class, lawyers, doctors, etc., who visited England witnessed the working of modern political institutions in a free country, highlighting the denial of basic rights back in India. 4. Role of press and literature. The second half of the 19th century saw an unprecedented growth of Indian-owned newspapers. Statistics for prelims: by 1877, there were approximately 169 vernacular newspapers with a circulation of roughly 100,000. Function: the press served as an institution of opposition, spreading ideas of self-government, democracy, and civil rights while criticizing official policies and urging the people to unite. 5. Rediscovery of India's past. Historical research by European scholars Max Muller, Monier Williams, Roth, and Indian scholars R.G. Bhandarkar, R.L. Mitra created a new picture of India's past. Psychological boost. The theory that Indo-Aryans belong to the same ethnic group as Europeans demolished colonial myths of inherent servility and gave Indians a renewed sense of self-respect and confidence. 6. Socio-religious reform movements. These movements sought to remove the social evils that splintered society. Their progressive character brought different sections of society together, acting as a vital catalyst for national growth. 7. Rise of the middle-class intelligentsia. British administrative and economic innovations birthed a new urban middle class. Percival Spear described this as a well-integrated all-India class with a common foreground of values and knowledge. This dynamic minority provided the leadership for the Congress in all its growth stages. 8. Impact of global movements. Nationalists were deeply inspired by the rise of new nations in South America and national liberation movements in Greece, Italy, and Ireland. 9. Reactionary policies and racial arrogance. The deliberate policy of racial discrimination and myths of white superiority deeply wounded Indian pride. Lytton's reactionary regime.
The reduction of the maximum age for ICS from 21 to 19 years 1876, the Delhi Darbar of 1877 during a severe famine, the Vernacular Press Act 1878 and the Arms Act 1878 provoked a storm of opposition. The Ilbert Bill controversy. Ripon's attempt to abolish judicial disqualification based on race was defeated by the stiff opposition of the European community. This taught nationalists that justice could not be expected where European interests were involved and served as a master class in how to organize an effective agitation.
Part 2. Political associations prior to the Congress. Early associations were dominated by the landed aristocracy and were regional in scope. However, the second half of the 19th century saw these replaced by associations dominated by the educated middle class. 1. Political associations in Bengal. Banga Bhasha Prakashika Sabha 1836, formed by associates of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Zamindari Association, Landholders Society, 1836, founded to safeguard the interests of landlords, it marked the beginning of organized political activity and the use of constitutional agitation for grievance redressal. Bengal British India Society, 1843, aimed at collecting and disseminating information regarding the actual condition of the people of British India. British India Association, 1851, formed by the merger of the Landholders Society and the Bengal British India Society. Petition to Parliament demanded a separate popular legislature, separation of executive and judicial functions, and abolition of salt stamp duties. Resulted in the Charter Act of 1853.
East India Association, 1866, organized by Dadabhai Naoroji in London to influence public opinion in England to promote Indian welfare. Indian League, 1875, started by Shishir Kumar Ghosh to stimulate a sense of nationalism. Indian Association of Calcutta, Indian National Association, 1876, founded by Surendranath Banerjee and Ananda Mohan Bose. Aims: create strong public opinion and unify people in a common political program. Campaigns: protested the reduction of the ICS age limit, 1877, demanded simultaneous exams and Indianization of administration. Legacy: sponsored the first All India Conference in Calcutta, December 1883, acting as a forerunner to the Congress. 2. Political associations in Bombay. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, 1867, founded by Mahadev Govind Ranade and others to serve as a bridge between the government and the people. Bombay Presidency Association, 1885, started by Badruddin Tayyabji, Firoz Shah Mehta, and K.T. Telang. 3. Political associations in Madras. Madras Mahajan Sabha, 1884, founded by M. Veeraraghavachari, B. Subramanya Iyer, and P. Ananda Charlu. Part 3. Pre-Congress campaigns, the agitatory foreground. Nationalist associations organized numerous campaigns before 1885 that set the tactical stage for the INC. 1. Cotton Duty, 1875, for the imposition of import duty on cotton. 2. Indianization, 1878-79, for the Indianization of government service. 3. Afghan Adventure, against Lytton's Afghan Adventure. 4. Repressive Acts, 1878, against the Arms Act and Vernacular Press Act. 5. Volunteer Corps, for the right to join the Volunteer Corps. 6. Labor Rights, against plantation labor conditions and the Inland Immigration Act. 7. Ilbert Bill, in support of the bill. 8. Political Fund, for an All India Fund for political agitation. 9. British elections, campaigning in Britain to vote for a pro-India party. 10. ICS agitation, against the reduction of the maximum age for the civil service. Conclusion: modern nationalism in India was the logical outcome of colonial contradictions. The British provided the infrastructure for unification, legal, administrative, and technological. But their reactionary policies and racial arrogance forced the burgeoning middle class to use that very infrastructure to organize against them. The transition from regional landed associations to the middle-class Indian Association of Calcutta paved the way for the national body that would eventually achieve Purna Swaraj. If you found this strategic overview helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this journey with your fellow aspirants.
If you have any questions regarding what we have discussed today, drop a comment below. I will be personally addressing your doubts to ensure your conceptual clarity is absolute.